Hi everyone, we are the founders of 5-Man Manufacturing. Today, we are going to walk you through our financial journey on how we turn a RM800,000 investment into a RM10 million revenue company in just 3 years. But first, why extension cable? In 2022, we looked at the Malaysian market and saw a dangerous gap. You had two choices: expensive imported brands or cheap uncertified sockets that were prone to overheating and fire. Our mission was to build a trusted brand specializing in high quality extension cables for both domestic and industrial use. We've committed to adhering strictly to Malaysian standard, MS. Safety wasn't just a feature, it was our business model. We structured the company with 5 founders, each holding 20% equity. This ensured that every decision, from sourcing copper to setting safety protocols, was balanced. Before we manufactured a single reel, we had to solve the economics. Extension cables are a commodity, so margins usually are thin. We refused to accept that. Let's look at the numbers for year 1. We've set our average selling price at RM30. This is a competitive price point for a certified high-quality 3-gang or 4-gang extension. Our production cost is RM16 per unit. This covers the copper wire, the fire-retardant casing, and the assembly. This gives us a gross profit of RM14 or a 47% margin. I wanted to pause here. Why is this 47% margin critical? In hardware manufacturing, inventory risks are high. Copper price fluctuate, retailers demand discounts, and having a 47% buffer allows us to absorb these shocks without going into the red. And it was this margin that justified our initial between the founding of RM800,000 split between our own equity and debt. That's all for my part, and now I'll leave it to the other members.
So, we had the product. Did the market want it? In year 1, we sold 80,000 units. We generated 2.4 million ringgit in revenue. Crucially, we posted a net profit of 269,800 ringgit. For a manufacturing startup to be profitable in year 1 is rare. It proved that Malaysians were willing to pay 30 ringgit for a safer and more high-qualitable extension cable. But profit is not cash. This chart shows the reality of year 1. Look at the red bar. Investing cash flow of negative 200,000 ringgit. We spend this on essential machinery such as the injection molding machines and copper stranding equipment. If you look at the green bar, you'll see our financing cash flow was over 700,000 ringgit. Without that initial capital injection from the founders and the bank, that machinery purchase would have bankrupted us. This slide teaches us that cash is king. Profit alone wouldn't have paid for the machines. Moving on to year 2, we had a foothold, but we wanted more dominance in the market. We made a strategic decision to reinvest. For marketing, we doubled our spend from 10,000 ringgit to 20,000 ringgit to build our brand's reputation. We needed more people to recognize our brand on the shelf at hardware stores. In terms of quality, we invested another 100,000 ringgit in machinery upgrades. This improved the durability of our sockets. The result, we sold 140,000 units. Revenue jumped to 4.9 million ringgit.
But the most exciting number is here. Look at the operating cash flow. In year 1, it was negative. In year 2, it flipped to positive RM449,603. This is the self-sustaining milestone. Our accounts receivable, grew to RM 2.45 million, which means big distributors like DIY stores or hypermarkets were buying from us in bulk. Even though they paid us later, our operations were efficient enough to generate cash. We were no longer burning money, we were printing it. Year 3 was our breakout year. We realized our extension cables had perfect product market fit. We just needed to get them in front of more people, so we engaged in aggressive market penetration. We increased our marketing budget by 5 times, up to RM 100,000 ringgit. Simultaneously, we spent RM 150,000 to double our factory capacity. The strategy worked perfectly. We sold 260,000 units. In fact, we sold out of every single cable we had in inventory. Revenue skyrocketed to RM 10.4 million. Net profit hit RM 3.4 million. Notice the efficiency here? We increased marketing by 5 times, but revenue grew by 2.1 times. This is the power of scaling. Once the factory is running, selling that extra 100,000 units is much more profitable than the first 10,000 units.
Moving on, let's look at the financial health of year 3. This is where all our hard work on safety standards and production capacity paid off. Because we had the inventory ready when the market demanded it, our net operating cash flow didn't just grow, it exploded to 3.56 million ringgit Malaysia. This immense cash generation gave us a good problem. We had more cash than we needed for immediate operations. So, we made a major decision. We paid out 1 million ringgit Malaysia in dividends to our shareholders. Now, I want to clarify something for the class. Some startups refuse to pay dividends, preferring the hard cash. But looking at our ending cash balance, that is 2.75 million ringgit Malaysia, we could afford to reward the founders for the risks they took in year 1, while still keeping nearly 3 million ringgit Malaysia in the bank for emergencies. This signals to any future investor that the 5-man manufacturing is not just a growth story, it's a cash generating machine. When you zoom out and look at the 3-year trend, the trajectory is undeniable. Our revenue grew from 2.4 million ringgit Malaysia to 10.4 million ringgit Malaysia. That is a 4 times increase in 36 months. Not only that, our net profit grew even faster, from 270,000 to 3.43 million ringgit Malaysia. Not only that, our units sold tripled from 80,000 units in year 1 to 260,000 in year 3. This hockey stick curve isn't luck. It's the result of matching our capacity with our demand perfectly in year 3. Moving on. This slide contains the most important lesson of our case study, operating leverage. Notice that our gross margins stayed relatively consistent, hovering around 47% to 53%. We didn't drastically change the price of our cables, and copper prices stayed stable. However, looking at the net profit, in year 1 it was a tin silver, but by year 3 it was a massive block. Why? Because our fixed costs, our factory rent, our admin salaries, they did not grow as fast as our sales. Once we cover our fixed costs, every extra extension cord we sold went almost straight to the bottom line. That's all from me.
This slide shows the cash flow journey of our company. In the year 1, look at the blue bar. It indicates that we were alive only because of financing. Look at the blue bar. It indicates negative because of we were burning cash on machines. In the year 2, the green bar, which represents the operating cash, finally turns positive. This indicates that we became self-sufficient. In year 3, the green bar becomes the dominant force. which indicates that we no longer needed loans. In fact, the blue bar turns negative. This is because we were paying out of money rather than taking it in. Next, this slide explains the balance sheet of our company. All of this flows into the balance sheet. In 3 years, we grew our total asset from 1.9 million to 8.2 million. But the number we are proudest of is retained earnings. We grew this from 250k to 3.9 million. This means our growth wasn't fueled by endless debt. It was fueled by our own profits. We own this company, not the bank. This slide shows the blueprint for growth of our company. So, what is the takeaway? The success of 5-man manufacturing company wasn't an accident. We following a specific 3-stage of blueprint. For the first stage of the full blueprint, that is the foundation stage, we proved that the unit economics first. We make sure we made that 40 ringgit on every cable before we try to sell 1 million of them. For the second stage, which is the investment stage of our company, we reinvested our early wins into quality. We made our cables safer and better than the competition. The last stage of our blueprint is the scale stage. That is, it is only when we were ready did we push the marketing button in year 3. That is all from us. Thank you for watching.